How has the presumption of innocence changed from past to present? Has it even changed that much? And what principles remain the same? Historically, the innocence or guilt of an accused was determined by subjecting a person to either heinous torture, painful tests, or dangerous experiences. This judicial practice was called trial by ordeal. It relied on divine intervention and supernatural powers rather than evidence-based fair trial to determine the guilt or innocence of the accused. Imagine you are a woman living in medieval England. You work hard to look after your home and your family. You live a rather quiet life, but one day a group of outraged peasants offer you up to the town leader. They accuse you of being a witch, simply due to the way you look. You plead with the town leader and insist that you are not a witch, but you cannot convince anyone. Instead, you are sentenced to ordeal by water. Your innocence or guilt is determined using a ducking stool. If you float, you'll be deemed in league with the devil. You'll be found guilty and burnt at the stake. If you sink, you'll be deemed innocent, but inevitably, you'll most likely drown in the process. Although you might die, you must undergo this ordeal to prove your innocence. You sit there on the ducking stool awaiting your fate. Everyone stares and spits at you. Before your innocence or guilt is determined by the ordeal, you are publicly humiliated and scorned. Your liberty and personal dignity are under attack. You are presumed guilty. An accusation was all it took for medieval citizens to presume your guilt. There was no fair trial. There were no witnesses called. No evidence was presented. The accuser did not have the burden of proving their assertion was correct. An accused could be assumed guilty after a single accusation. The presumption of innocence was often drowned out by public fervor. The defendant could not avoid damage to their life and reputation, regardless of the verdict. Countless innocent people have had their lives destroyed based on allegations that were not able to be substantiated by evidence. Does this seem fair to you? In the present day, we might think that we have developed more advanced practices than trial by ordeal. However, trial by media has eerie parallels to medieval practices, especially when it comes to the irreversible damage that can be caused to a person's reputation. Imagine you are a well-known and well-liked federal politician. You have worked hard and enjoyed serving the public interest in your political career for almost 2 decades. However, one day you are arrested over a corruption scandal. You are accused of allegedly misusing public money. You strongly deny these allegations. I am innocent, you say, but not one listens. Before your trial begins, you are subjected to unrelenting media attacks. Some major news corporations and social media outlets are used as tools for public humiliation. Some journalists make sensationalistic claims, suggesting your guilt even though it has not been proven at all. Facebook hate groups emerge and call for you to be immediately thrown into jail. Even if you are subsequently found innocent by a court, you can no longer secure employment in politics, nor can you financially support your family. Not only is your livelihood adversely affected, so too is your professional and personal reputation, which suffers irreparable damage. You feel embarrassed and ashamed. Your life has changed irrevocably. Some parts of the media are encroaching on the role of judges and prosecutors. They fail to provide balanced reporting and in doing so are at serious risk of disrupting due process by adjudicating before a trial by a court of law. They publish sensationalist headline statements, putting a taint on a person, which sways public opinion, potentially encouraging a lynch mob mentality. Presently, some parts of the media are at serious risk of penetrating the shield that protects our personal freedom. The presumption of innocence must start before the courtroom. This includes how a media reports on an event or an accused person. If our society does not uphold and consistently maintain the maxim, both inside and outside the courtroom, we place ourselves at serious risk of history repeating itself. In Australia, the rule of law requires that all people are presumed innocent until proven otherwise, that laws will be administered justly and fairly, and that all people are given the right to a fair trial. These long-standing legal principles are also enshrined in human rights principles. In a world of dramatic and rapid change, it is of great comfort to know that some things should stay the same.